welcome to the Saturday night's main event review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, Wilbourn Michael Sidgwick from WhatCulture, here to review everything that happened on this weekend's Saturday night's main event. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we review Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0, AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week, complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Sidgwick. Michael Hamflett having a well-earned day off. He's on daddy daycare as the final day of half term is here, which is a shame.
Spring break. Well, actually, what do they call it when it's fall?
Oh, yeah, fall break.
Midterms. I don't know. Are they exams?
I don't know, yeah.
Someone let us know in the comments. I know midterms. Oh, my God. I flunked the midterms. My mom's going to kick my ass. Those are exams, right?
Yeah, midterms. And elections as well, aren't they? They have the midterms. But yeah, I don't know what they call it in fall when they don't have half term.
When you have a little week off school.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd be intrigued to know his thoughts on this show. We'll get his thoughts.
He wishes he was here
tomorrow on Raw because he is, and I think he's avoided all spoilers for all this because of the way his weekend's fallen. But I sense a rather divided review here of Saturday night's main event, as we alluded to on the Raw preview. Sidge did not have as good a time as I had. Is that fair to say?
It's incredibly fair. I thought this show was almost diabolical in places, wildly just generic and just there in others. Really uninspiring. Didn't feel like a big event. It just felt like a series of formalities that they felt the need to do with some filler. I thought the big two matches were wildly underwhelming. One of them was hilarious. So there is that. Wilbourn, have you ever met a WWE show you didn't like post-July 2022?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of WrestlePalooza. Said that at the time.
Really?
Yeah. Said there was elements of that show that was just really outright disappointing.
Oh, excellent. Rule-proving exception.
But I think
to him being a mark.
I watched this show. I was like, oh, finally, a really good Saturday night's main event. And then stupidly went on X, which you obviously should just never do.
No, don't do that.
And went, I should have just stayed in my own little bubble, clearly, because everyone was like, don't like this show. And I was like, I was watching every match and then I was like, I obviously really enjoyed the Dirty Dom match. I think both of us will enjoy that when we get to reviewing that part. I was happy with the title switch for Jade and the fact they kept that match short. I thought the Cody Drew stuff was, it's something that they've revisited on numerous occasions, and it's just a long-term story they're obviously telling with Cody and with Drew to a certain extent. And then I was like...
To a big extent. I have got some data.
Oh.
Okay. Not yet.
Okay.
But I've been running some numbers, and the data is qualitative, but it's an indictment on that tedious bastard Paul Levesque.
And then I thought, all lands on this main event and what they decide to do, because I think we'd all gone into it saying there's either not going to be a champion leaving this event, which, could be interesting depending on how they present it, or Jey Uso, potentially even heel Jey Uso leaving as champion. I didn't factor in the fact that CM Punk could just win.
He could just win.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll dive into it. Thank you to everyone joining us live on YouTube. I will get to your comments in due course. Shout out to Kyle Foote, who says, I am gobsmacked. Hamflett having a day off.
I know, man.
And the closest we've got is just people taking a week off for Thanksgiving. So presumably that's just called Thanksgiving break. Shout out to Brian Weddick, who's been helping us through that. But any more vacay details would be much appreciated.
Yes.
But should we start with the first match? Also, where was Tess and Jesse Ventura? Solid show.
Ventura's,
okay, fair enough.
I'm fairly certain he was. I don't know this for a fact, but maybe from WWE's perspective, Ventura was entering that sort of like liability.
Okay, fair enough.
Realm.
But yeah, we started with the undisputed WWE Championship match, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. Obviously, with the developments on SmackDown, the title could change hands on a DQ or a count-out. Drew McIntyre insisting that as Lillian Garcia gave us the tail of the tape She introduced him as the real American Dream, just to rile up Cody a little bit more. And that was sort of the strategy of Drew early on. He tries to lure him outside for a count out. He also tries to throw him into the official early on to cause a DQ. Then he bites Cody's head without the referee seeing it. And that fires Rhodes up, and he's sort of stomping on him in the corner, and the ref has to pull him off. McIntyre comes back, sends Cody into the ring post, chucks him into the barricade.
That's why I like Saturday night's main event.
Tried to get the count out.
So you could do that.
Cody makes it back in time for 8. Cody catches McIntyre going up top and hits a nice-looking superplex. Rhodes hit a disaster kick and a sort of spinning Cody cutter at one point for a 2 count. He also hit a bionic elbow, but got caught by Drew McIntyre with a spine buster and the sit-out powerbomb. Drew rolls out of the ring, grabs the title belt. Cody rips it out of his hands, but he won't use it, throws it to the ref. That opens him up for a Claymore kick from Drew McIntyre for a 2 count.
We'll forget this. I liked Wade Barrett's call of he didn't get the run-up. If he got the run-up, maybe he would have scored the 3. So at this moment, I did sort of lean forward and wait for the running Claymore version. Wade Barrett, not perfect, but mostly very good at his job.
Cody goes to the outside.
Codes.
Goes to the outside, and they set up that spot that obviously they've done previously where Drew was going to kick him through the announce table. But Rhodes fought back, and they go back in the ring. But Drew knocks, as Cody's trying to get back in, he knocks him off the ring apron through the announce table. Awesome looking spot. The table explodes. Cody only just makes it in at like 9.5 of the count out, obviously. McIntyre wants a future shock DDT, but Cody goes to the turnbuckles, but as he's going up there, his knee buckles as a result of the bump he took onto the tables, and he falls down clutching it. Rhodey
Codes. Who's that? I know who Cody Rhodes is.
Rhodes hit a super cutter, but McIntyre kicked out at 2. Set up for the crossroads. Drew kicked him in the face, sent him to the corner, and they squished the referee in there. So Drew hit a Glasgow kiss. Ref's still out. So Drew grabs the belt, goes to hit Cody with it, misses, and they collide with crossbodies. And as Drew tries to go for the belt again, Cody catches him, DDTs him onto the belt. That's a DQ. Title should change hands. But he throws that out of the ring, and as the ref wakes up, he hits a crossroads to get the 1, 2, 3 and retain the undisputed WWE Championship.
So this analysis will come in various parts. I will concentrate on the match first, and then I'll crunch some data.
Ooh.
Okay. I didn't think much of this. Look, it felt all along, this Cody Drew stuff, like a diminished return of, I remember praising to their hilt the Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens program from last year. I thought they did a tremendous job. My favorite aspects were them sort of shooting some of the angles like away from designated broadcast time. Like they did
the first thing that kicked it all off, obviously, was the like fan footage of them brawling near there.
I loved that idea. Such ideas in the 2025 landscape of WWE, few and far between. It felt like they were just, had a real spark, a real imagination. I just love, like, one of my least favorite things in all of pro wrestling is that the Pro Wrestlers Week lasts for 2 hours, depending on what TV show they appear on. I love the idea of a beef, a conflict, a feud, either getting initiated or escalating or merely continuing when they're not in that 2-hour weird time zone. Just makes it feel significantly less contrived. This Cody Drew stuff feels very much like a continuation, a diminished return, as I said, of a far superior program from last year. I didn't feel like there was any danger whatsoever of Cody losing the title. I don't necessarily feel like that is always... It's a very easy stick to beat wrestling with, and it serves wrestling right for never stopping. There's going to be some filler. There's going to be some predictable stuff. And in wrestling's defense, they are at the mercy of advertisers and sponsors. I reckon, genuinely, if they could have the choice, every single booker alive would say, yep, 3-month break, off season, if they could still somehow get the same revenues from missing that amount of time. You're going to get something predictable. I'm a harsh marker. I like to consider myself quite discerning, but even I have to accept, you have to do some stuff that's just going to be a bit patterned. This falls under that, but I was still very, miss me with this entire feud. I thought it's been a bit of a disappointment. You sensed it was going to drag and get prolonged and just eat up this traditionally boring period of the year in WWE. But, you can still do some good stuff, even if it's predictable and you can sense when the beats are coming. So I didn't feel a lot of huge atmosphere in the building. In terms of the actual story told, I don't think they milked this anywhere near enough as they could have. I'm going to cite one example in particular, and I have to be tribal about it. I'm sorry. On some level, this spot worked because they got the reaction. They got the big 10, 1, 2, 3, and it's a count-out tease, right? They got the crowd to chant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Cody in the ring. So on some level, yeah, but I mean, it's getting a wrestling crowd to count. They're going to do that. They love doing that. I thought the count was very fast. I didn't think there's anywhere near enough suspense in the count. I will say there's a table gets broken almost every single week. But am I right in thinking, because I'm about to give them a pass and I don't want to do this willy-nilly, am I right in thinking the actual announce tables, they've been a little bit disciplined with them?
Yeah, I think they're made of sturdier stuff. Yeah.
So they don't do it quite as often as they did. There was one terrible one the other week.
Yeah, when it just sort of went...
But I can't remember what that was. But I do feel like they've been a little bit disciplined by their standards. So, yes, it did feel a little bit, we don't see that. And to their credit, it was a great bump from Cody. But here's where I get tribal, right? It just felt like he'd gone through the table. The ref just went 1, 2. It just felt really quick. And again, they got the ultimate aim for that spot was to get the audience to chant along and express a little bit of fear. But if you contrast that sequence with the ultimate resurgence era New Japan count-out teasers, and yes, they did far too many, but the very best ones, it feels like your heart is vibrating in your rib cage because you just think there's no way they're going to get back in the ring because the pace and the suspense, the drama. This is why they did it as often as they did, because they had, I think the 20 count really, really helps. And Dave Meltzer has long campaigned for AEW to do a 20 count because it just works. I don't think they milked that anywhere near enough. Cody's getting a little bit desperate to create drama in these matches. I don't know if he's feeling the strain of the second album deal with the second title reign or what, but the Cena match at SummerSlam worked because it was just as excessive as it was. The crowd never quietened. So on the strictest basis, that match worked. Earlier than that, I thought the Orton match, in terms of killing his finish, the Crossroads, they were taking the piss. And now, for the first 2 Crossroads, don't react at all. The Seth match was bad for that as well. And that spinning Crossroads, retire that. Don't do that again.
Oh, the spinning Cody cutter. Yeah.
Yeah, the spinning Cody cutter, right, was such an odd, baffling choice. And I don't know if you felt this, right? It felt like Cody was going for the usual Cody cutter, and the way he sort of tried to do a spinning version, it felt like to me watching, and maybe I'm half awake or a bad analyst or whatever, that Drew had countered it into a sort of deep 6.
Yeah, it felt like somewhat of a counter from Drew.
So when Cody went for the cover, I was like, What? So I thought that was baffling, not very good. And generally, if the idea was Drew pushed and prodded Cody too far with this deranged agenda that Drew has in his head, and he got what was coming to him by getting the DDT on the belt, I don't know. It just felt like a weird decision to make. Maybe it was the story being told wasn't strong enough, or Cody in general has blurred these lines too often. But didn't feel like you deserved that, Drew, for being such a prick in the match and such an arsehole in the build. You deserve what was coming to you there. Turnabout was fair play. Yep, the belt was used. You deserved it. I'll let the babyface have this one. I just didn't get that. I don't think they milked the stip anywhere near enough for me. So I was a bit underwhelmed by this match.
I went into it buying a title change a lot more than I would have had they not changed what they were going to do on Friday. Because I went into it going, wow, you could see like Punk win a title and Cody lose a title, or Punk and Cody both leave Saturday night's main event without a title, mainly because of the time of year.
I'm looking to arrive at their match.
Potentially, yeah. And I looked at it and I was like, now they've done the title switch with Cena and then the switch back, obviously, it's not going to be as egregious when it's like, that's how you end this like epic title reign. Now, you've only had it since, August?
Yeah.
So there's a bit of me that thought, they could do a little run between like now and December or January. January, for example, Cody could win it back on the
People wanted that
Royal
for
Rumble
Kevin
show.
Owens last year.
There was a bit of me that thought, and it's such a Shan way for Drew to
Shan?
win. Yeah.
Love that.
For Drew to win the title.
Shan is Geordie for unfair.
Yeah. Whether it be
Shan that man.
Whether it be the count out, or I thought the DQ was what we were going to get, because we've seen so many different instances in matches of like Cody being like, well, Crossroads, but the chair just so happens to be there. So there's that. And they'd obviously alluded to like Cody's family on SmackDown, and then he's like done it again, and then he's like tried to rile him up, and he's come close. He's like, push the referee away, and obviously Wade reacted. That's a DQ, all right there. There's a bit. I think I just bought into the finish more, and obviously this is going to continue as I said you're going to get into with these stats, because Drew is going to turn up on Friday and be like, to the letter of law, I should be champion right now.
And he better not. He better not. It felt like Drew needed something desperately new to do after all this, because my God, it just felt such a stale, are we still doing this situation? And here's why. I'm here to take care of the
data.
Right, okay. So, the thesis is entitled Triple H : slow and boring. Right. So I've crunched some numbers here and arrived at a certain bit of a conclusion. That being Triple H, slow and boring, right? Drew McIntyre in his heel turn starts to bubble up to the forefront of the narrative in about September 2023, when he starts complaining about getting screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And the onus is on the bloodline. It dovetails, and it does dovetail nicely into Jey Uso coming back to Raw. And Drew's pissed off because he's had a series of like crushing personal losses. It's becoming the defining thread of his career, in fact. And he can't sanction it. He believes he's blameless, and the way WWE operates and doesn't punish certain heel wrestlers, or there's no VAR or anything like that. He's basically saying, I'm getting screwed by incompetence. People are allowed to do what they want here. I'm the victim. So he starts mouthing off, I've been screwed more times than Bonnie Blair. This patter, right? September 2023, okay? And I've done some numbers here. November 13, 2023. And this is all good at the time, right? I'm not disputing that. This is all well done. And Drew McIntyre can look back one day and say there was a WWE resurgence. We got massive again. No one ever expected it to happen. And I don't think it would have been as good if I'm not there, right? It's Roman and Cody are the stars. Sami Zayn's a proper draw. Punk comes as 2024. But Drew McIntyre can say that maybe, if you want to do analogies, I'm the Foley. I'm working with people, and I'm doing great stuff with like Roman and then later Punk. I'm the guy who you need an antagonist, you need a supporting cast. If I'm not the top draw, and I'm not, I'm key to this all functioning correctly and brilliantly. And November 13th, 2023, on Raw, Drew McIntyre formally turns heel after the teasing when he officially helps the Judgment Day retain the tag team titles against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. I think he claymores Jey Uso. And that's it. That's the heel turn. I think he sort of shakes hands with Rhea Ripley. Their business is concluded. I'm a heel now. Right. That was November 13th, 2023. Fast forward to Saturday, November 1st, 2025. Unsuccessfully challenges Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE title. Saturday night's main event. He's still pretty much going on and 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 on about how everyone's against him. He's still playing this no accountability. I've been screwed. Right. November 13th, 2023. Minimal character development. I will say there's an incredibly well-received program between Drew and CM Punk. So it's not a complete waste of time, but it's gone on a long time. Long.
This needs to be the final thing.
Yep. November 13th, 2023, November the 1st, 2025. 719 days. If my math calc and trig is correct. 719 days, right? Now, the Drew McIntyre character of him believing that there's a big systemic agenda against him personally. You know, there's a new saying in the World Wrestling Federation. You scratch my back, I'll stab yours. If you know, you know. That was Bret Hart's quote in the lead up to WrestleMania 13, at which he turns heel because he believes that the WWF is just completely warped beyond recognition, no longer rewarding great sportsmanship. There's a certain amount of shenanigans going on that will not do for Bret Hart. He becomes bitter. He believes there's an agenda. Drew McIntyre's heel turn doesn't happen without the Bret one. One has been patterned after the other. So Bret Hart, on March 23rd, 1997, famously turns heel in the double turn match against Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13 with the exact same character motivations as Drew McIntyre. 719 days after Bret's heel turn, right, Bret Hart, and that is March 12th, 1999, Bret Hart is 2 weeks away from doing pretty much the one time the WCW run felt like it wasn't a complete disaster, right? Where he turns heel, and he's 2 weeks away from doing the metal plate spear angle with Goldberg. That feels like, Jesus Christ, has WCW got something halfway decent here? Because that's an awesome angle. And they, lean on Bret Hart's genius mind for once to create something. And then the problem is the timing was poor. Bret Hart needed a time off. I think it was a groin injury. And it's a great angle. They'll revisit it later on in the year, but they don't come up with an idea as good as that. And by this point, WCW is as good as dead. Okay. But here's the important thing, right? Forget Bret Hart in WCW. That's just more of a snapshot of how much time changes, right? Or how much it used to change when Paul Levesque wasn't having Grayson Waller and Austin Theory tease a split for like what felt like 4 decades and then never ended up paying it off. 719 days after Bret Hart turns heel in the WWF, it's March 12, 1999. And this is somewhat analogous, right? Because both of these time frames are WWE booms, okay? People are paying attention. People are locked into the product. There's apparently a really competent booker on both points of the same timeline, 1999, 2025, right? How competent is Triple H? How good is this boom realistically? Because 719 days after the Bret Hart heel turn, it's March 12, 1999, it is 5 days away from WrestleMania 15. And if you look at what's happened between WrestleMania 13 and WrestleMania 15 and the Drew turn to the Bret, it's ridiculous. You've You've got Stone Cold Steve Austin is a household name megastar, right? And yes, we are post-water cooler. It's different the way that we have such limitless entertainment choices. I don't want to make a complete direct correlation here, but it is interesting. Steve Austin is doing Kathy and Regis. He's on the cover of Us Weekly or whatever, TV Guide. He's doing Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV. He is a mainstream star, okay? The Rock isn't yet, but he is so undeniable that he turns heel in November 98. By March, everyone's in love with him. And he turns heel, 2 months? He turns babyface 2 months after WrestleMania. He's basically waiting for Austin to get injured. He does. In 2000, The Rock sets the record. He himself is a mainstream star. He's doing It Doesn't Matter with Wyclef Jean and all the rest of it. He is a second mainstream star that the WWF has created. Underneath, Mr. McMahon is a firmly established TV character. And yes, his actual week-to-week booking in 1999, as with everything else, is nonsensical, okay? Nonsensical. But he is the primary antagonist in the WWF, a monumental ratings draw. Triple H always sucked, but he is on the cusp. He is about 9 months away, but he is being built. He is given the platform to be a top heel, and he gets there. Mick Foley is a major draw in his own right, having done wonderful work as this sort of like little supplicant to the corporation to then realize, no, I've got heart, I've got agency, I'm going to start fighting. He is a major draw for that era in his own right. I hated him as a wrestler, and I dislike him even more as a person. Kane, a brand new character introduced after the Bret Hart turn, is a strong enough attraction to headline several pay-per-views for the WWF in 1998. The Undertaker is rubbish. His work has declined massively, but he's still got that aura. He's still got that star power to headline SummerSlam 1998, which is a monster of a show, realistically. What boom's better than the other? What boom's more effective than the other? Which one moves quicker? Which one's more entertaining, compelling? This Drew McIntyre thing is gone on forever, and it's reflective, really, of Paul Levesque's approach. And if you consider what he's doing with Drew McIntyre, it applies to Jey Uso. We've circled back to the Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns stuff already. Jey Uso's dying out there. It's Triple H is a slow and boring booker, and I just felt it. The reason why I decided to do this today, first of all, it popped into my head. Second of all, I felt that uninspired energy online, and yes, it's not a barometer of anything, but anecdotally, my timeline was just bored, senseless, bored, rigid. I feel like it's the pattern of 2025 where it just feels like pretty uninspiring. But I thought that was an interesting, qualitative, comparative exercise, this Drew McIntyre stuff. I don't know what you do now, turning babyface. Maybe you can jump something. Like, this is tedious in the extreme.
Yeah, this has to be like, maybe he gets one more shot on a TV, for example, because he sits there and says, no. Come on, Cody. You know that you bent the rules to face me. I know I wound you up, but letter of the law, I should be champion. That's why I said I thought I would buy into a title switch. But after this, yeah. I mean, like, he's had some great moments throughout this time. You know, you mentioned that the amazing CM Punk feud.
I'm not saying he turned heel, it was boring immediately, and then 719 days later, it was still here. I'm not saying that. But 2025, Jesus. Damian Priest feud.
That was good. The match at WrestleMania was great. That was a great match.
It wasn't great.
It was great. I thought it was great.
Okay.
Maybe he had to be there, I suppose.
I wasn't. I elected not to go to be a good father to my daughter, right? I don't think that's winning feud of the year.
No.
I don't think remember the dawn of the DVD market, they would do like a 3-disc retrospective on the careers of Steve Austin, on Mick Foley, on The Rock, and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. This Drew Damian Priest stuff, I ain't getting a chapter, really.
Well, there was a great match at WrestleMania, personally. But
okay, I don't think it's getting feud of the year, match of the year show.
No, I don't think it's that.
Yeah,
I'll not argue against that, but I don't think it was.
Maybe use the word good instead of great. Then.
it was great. It was in its moment. It was great.
Okay, I just don't think Drew McIntyre has had anywhere near.
He needs something new, no question.
Okay, thank you.
Following that, we got the WWE Women's Championship match. It was Tiffany Stratton against newly healed Jade Cargill. We saw a bit beforehand with SmackDown GM. I can't remember what his name is.
It's Nick Aldis.
He was making sure Tiffany Stratton's okay. She's 100% for the match. Then we see Paulie Shaw. What year is it? Watching from ringside alongside WWE mega fan Post Malone.
Drew McIntyre age, buddy.
But yeah, no messing about here. Tiffany jumps her at the bell, but Cargill just dominates, using her power, stomps on her, hits a huge choke slam, pump handle, flip slam for a 2 count. She kicked her ass, basically. She sends her outside, chucks her on the stairs. She wants to repeat the angle that they did, but Stratton trips her face first into the steps, chucks Jade back in the ring, goes up top, but Jade Cargill catches her there, but Tiffany knocks her down, hits a swanton for a 2 count, and then it's all Jade then, basically. Jade fights back, hits an Eye of the Storm. Oh, she was selling the knee, obviously. She tried to hit her prettiest moonsault ever, but couldn't. Jade fights back, hits Eye of the Storm, hits a fall-away slam, another. Stratton kicks out at 2, and then Cargill just nails her with power bombs. 1, 2, 3, and then a Jaded to finish the match off in short order and become the new WWE Women's Champion.
Good bit of business, this.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Good bit of business, kept it simple. They made the best use of Jade Cargill's limited but very potent range of like gifts that she has. She looked like a bit of a killer in there. It was time.
Yeah.
No pun intended. God damn it, this Tiffany Stratton title reign. I'm quite glad it's over because the cycle is, it's Tiffy time. Time is running out on Tiffy time. She wins. It's still Tiffy time. Well, I think you'll find time is running out. No, it's still Tiffy time. That was becoming tedious as well. Jade Cargill, I thought she was finished. There was a result earlier this year. It was actually against Tiffany.
It might have been the Stratton match before, not the triple threat where it all went wrong.
Yeah, where I thought, oh, well, that's it.
SummerSlam?
There was one where I think she lost quite handily, and it felt like she was just a challenger of the week who had lost clean, and I thought, well, that was it.
Giving up on her almost.
Yeah, because her level of performances, she had that incredible 5-month training stint at the Performance Center, and she came out of it, how do we appraise her? Oh, yes, exactly the same as she was in AEW. So, but no, this is the second go-around. Why not do something? First of all, like WWE is stale. It needs freshening up. This is a really good decision to arrive at doing precisely that. Let this be a lesson. You can learn from things. WWE a lot of the times just does the playbook. If this is setting the tone for just a killer heel run where AEW tried this, it didn't really work. I think WWE could really lay it on more thickly, where if she kills any and all comers, and I'm talking any and all comers, in 5 minutes at a maximum.
I agree.
Every single week, without fail. Good, effective, predictable. You don't even have to beat her. If someone takes it in 9 minutes and they rehearse and script and come out and like really think about this 9-minute match. If someone takes that past 5 minutes, that itself can feel like an event. Like Wade Barrett, who does the commentary for Smackers?
God, I always get confused.
They've been changed up, haven't they?
Yeah.
Vic Joseph's been on it.
Yeah, it was good. Vic and not Booker.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, so basically, whoever's doing the commentators can lose their minds at the idea that I'm talking 4 months down the line. Someone has taken Jade past 5 minutes. Because the idea of a heel turn or a face turn is that you can get completely revamped. Your presentation can change. It feels like, the last bit didn't count. She can kill everyone in under 5 minutes. And you don't lose anything. You gain something because you cut out those weird parts where you're asking her to do too much. And if someone finally takes her past 5 minutes, that can feel like an event. You don't even have to beat her. Jade can still win that match clean, but with a bit of desperation. It'll be like, Jesus Christ. And then you can make someone, or not make someone, you can build someone by not even beating Jade with this sort of fantasy booking. But no, there's potential here, I've found.
Yeah, absolutely. I said this going into it, that from the moment Jade turned heel, I was like, yep, 100%, put the belt on her. And like my perspective, and it's going to change obviously now with the way the world title is and the Seth injury, et cetera, like for a long time now, maybe even post SummerSlam, I've been like, right, okay, well, you've got Sami Zayn's run to the world title match potentially at WrestleMania, so he's going to be factored in somewhere. Cody and Punk obviously going to be involved in some sort of world title match. Even on Raw, you're like, okay, well, you got earlier than I anticipated, but you got Stephanie Vaquer and Rhea Ripley and that sort of match they're sort of holding back on. SmackDown, I was like, I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing for as to what you do. Like, Bianca probably's involved in it because it's Bianca Belair. Whereas now, like you say, Jade, I completely agree. Jade should not go beyond 5, 6, 7 minutes at an absolute push.
5.
For these title defenses, have a run through everybody. And yes, the obvious thing would be people to say, right, and then you bring back Bianca Belair, who's still out with an injury and still has no determined return date, and then there's your match for WrestleMania. But like you say, if you don't want to do that, or you can't do that because of injuries or whatever, just off the top of my dick, right? Oh, what's Jade's thing? She's a complete powerhouse. She manhandles all her opponents. Oh, who have we got down in NXT? Oh, Jordan Grace can come through. And like you say, whether or not she necessarily has to beat her for the title.
That would be a nice match.
Have her face like Lash Legend, for example, in the interim of like, oh, someone can actually match her power game, but she can't get the job done, unfortunately. Like you say, it really does open things up. I think this was absolutely the right call and the right way to do it.
It's well executed as well, I thought. Good bit of business.
It's not going to get, Dave's not going to go mental. Well, mate, it's Dave. He's not going to go crazy with his star ratings for this, but it
doesn't matter.
He didn't need that. I didn't need a 15-minute 5-star. I just needed
just as well
a title switch
just as well
to Jade Cargill.
No, but again, we talk relentlessly about this, and it's because we keep getting them. The banger era is dead.
Yeah,
and the sooner wrestling reckons with that, the better. This absolutely is I don't know if it's a intentional reaction to that, but my God, I'll take it as one. Like, this is how you build people. Like, I read on Twitter a great take that Eric Bischoff has got he's got a cheek. Mm-hmm. He's a massive hypocrite. He booked matches at random between cruiserweights on Nitro for the sake of it, and no wrestler really did. It didn't really sort of impact what they were doing the next week with his. It feels like he learned the word story 4 years ago, and I've had to suffer for it ever since, right? It's like Nitro fundamentally broke everything. It was like the amount of star versus star matches and the relentless reveals and twists, and it in some ways it was one of it didn't really last very long, like 4 months of 96 Nitro, just intoxicating. Like 1997 was just heat, angle. I'm not saying it was all bad, right? But it peaked in 96, and this idea of like just a lot of all-star matches and all the rest of it, WWF had to kind of follow suit. Like AEW's had a similar effect of, we've burned through a lot.
Yeah.
I probably criticised Tony Khan for being a little bit too stingy. What's the American word for cheap?
Yeah.
In terms of like depriving fans of matches, but it does feel like the pay-per-view matches don't really feel special anymore, where they once did.
Like I say, for a bit of variety in
I'm
there.
saying that anything is an antidote to this all-star matches. Just have Jade crush people in matches that she doesn't want to be in there 5 minutes. She doesn't want to put on a match of the year candidate. She's got a job to do, and the quicker the better.
What's it they say?
This.
She's not paid by the hour.
She ain't paid. Just as well.
Speaking of Americanisms, shout out to Matt Reigns.
Hey, baby. How we doing?
Matt Reigns says, just caught up, took a leaf brown break. That's apparently what we call autumn. All ready for snow cold now.
Snow cold.
That's the winter, obviously.
Because we just go like fall is such an American literal way for it, and that's when we coined summer's sun hat. God damn. Can't wait for sun hat to get here. So much for sun hat, eh? It's now time for fall. Because the leaves fall off the trees.
Yeah. Let's get to this ice.
So you got fall, sun hat,
snow cold,
and grow.
and grow.
Grow. Like spring's literal enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, IC title, triple threat, Dominic Mysterio versus Penta versus Rusev. I loved this match. I
liked it.
I loved it because it was, the finish was amazing. And then there was other bits throughout it that I particularly enjoyed, and a bit that I immediately thought of you, which you can probably guess, which we'll get to. So the bell rings, and Rusev and Penta just take turns kicking the crap out of Dominic Mysterio, so much so that they do the classic, out of the way, I want to kick him some more. Sorry, Carl Stevens in the chat says, clock wind sad this past weekend, which is obviously the clocks changing.
I still get caught out by certain manual clocks that I've not updated in my home. Oh my God, one of them's my son's. So he thinks he's getting up at like 7. It's like, 6, go away. I love you to bits, but please go away. It's 6 a.m.
So Rusev gets rid of Penta and just starts suplexing Dominic Mysterio. But then they're on the outside, and Penta dives through the ropes and takes out Rusev, and then Dom dives through and takes out Penta. Penta and Dom go at it, and then Rusev, as a near fall's happening, pulls Penta out of the ring. Lariat chucks him into the barricade. Mysterio thinks this is a good idea or a good time to dive at Rusev through the ropes. He gets caught, and Rusev just slams his head into the newly repaired announce desk. Rusev has a little moment with the IC title. I'm coming for you, he says. Gets back in the ring, kicks Mysterio, goes for a lariat, but gets tripped, set up for the 619. Rusev just catches him, though, and Dom's like, uh-oh. He puts him in the accolade, but Penta breaks that up with a super kick to Rusev. Penta and Rusev go at it, and as the referee's busy with something, Dominic Mysterio slides in with a chair, and I think, okay. And then
I did like this. There were some ideas, some elusive goddamn ideas here.
He throws it to Rusev, being like, he hit me. And, well, the referee looks at Dom and says,
perfectly legal, Cole.
That made me laugh.
I did laugh at that.
So Penta hits Mysterio with a Mexican Destroyer off the back of Rusev, and then a Tornado DDT on Rusev. Goes for a Destroyer, but Rusev catches him and hits an Alabama Slam. There's a sit-out driver from Penta, but Rusev kicks out at 2. Penta goes up top, jumps off, but Rusev nails him with a kick. Puts the accolade on. Ding, 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 ding. Match is over.
Winner.
New IC champion. The ref's like, no, I didn't call it. There's no tap. A clever little boy. And we see Dominic Mysterio, with his trusty bell hammer, has rung the bell to fool Rusev into thinking that the match was over. Rusev goes out after him, ragdolls him around the outside, but Mysterio sends Rusev into the steel steps and climbs back in, goes to the bell hammer that he's chucked in, but Penta's standing on it. He grabs the hammer, goes to hit Dom. Dom ducks. Penta nails Rusev with the hammer. Mysterio post Penta, chucks him out of there. Frog splash on Rusev. 1, 2, 3. Dirty Dom's a genius.
So we have listeners come viewers now because we're on YouTube. So for the audio-only folk, would you like to dramatically describe what I'm doing here?
Okay. He is slowly but surely raising his hands to, I think the phrase is, hold his hands up as regards to
this self-contained story.
It's good stuff, wasn't it?
It is. It's been predictable every step of the way, and I fought back as I have to do. I'm the sole defender of WWE critique in these walls in the studio, and sometimes I get a lot of flack, just for pointing out, it's the same way they build every triple threat match ever. Cool. Good boom. Good boom. However, I think this justified itself in the end, despite using patterns and predictable tropes to get there, because I loved great ideas here. The use of Dominic Mysterio's new prop, the ring bell hammer.
Yeah.
You can't do that in a singles match. So all along, they probably had this finish in mind, and I did like, it was almost like a nice reveal of a little story being told of, revelation, that's why he did that. That's why I've been using that. Very cute, very nice. in terms of this finish. Quite surprising and effective. He doesn't use the bell hammer in a singles feud because it doesn't work, you know? So the fact that, that's why they've done that, and that's why he's been carrying that around. Delightfully devilish, Dom. Very, very, very good and inspired, right? So I did like that. Action-wise, it was fine. You're going to see dozens of better matches this year, this month, but I'm always going to pop for a Destroyer.
Yeah.
And I do like Penta's little pull vault, leapfrog. Like, what's it called in the gym? Like a horse.
Yeah, I think the pommel horse is the thing that they go onto, but the little spring.
The little spring thing, yeah. I like the little spring platform Destroyer gimmick. It gets me every single time, and I enjoyed it. But no, I like the idea of, that's why they've done the triple threat. That's why he's been doing the bell hammer. Very cute, very nice. Okay. I've got one criticism, however.
Oh.
But I don't think it matters that much. Penta is ultimately going to be too over, where this specific WWE audience ain't going to care about this result or his involvement in it, which is good news for WWE, because as this played out in the first 2 minutes, before I realized that's why you've been doing all this on TV, okay, my hands are up to a degree, is when they were taking in turns to beat up everyone's favorite wrestler. I thought, terrible bit of matchmaking this. It's tricky enough when you've got a guy who is a heel nominally in the storylines, but everyone loves him. Everyone is charmed by him. Everyone knows that he's going to be a babyface soon. Everyone is so impressed and entertained by this dude's heel work and his just ability to become, like, people feel like they've got certain ownership, like a paternal bond almost. Well, you have it with Dom, where it's like you saw something in him before even the contrarian ball knowers on X. You thought they could do something with him as a heel. Yeah. He's was the number one, right? But I think a lot of the WWE, like, you could see it at the WrestleMania reaction, right? You know, we've watched him come so far. It's what AEW tried to do with the pillars. Get in on the ground floor because that bond means something more. It's like the Young Lions model, really. So the idea is it's becoming this heel stuff with Dom's becoming untenable. It always does. And to be fair, he's done well to get the reactions that he needed to get for as long as he did.
Yeah.
But now it's like, can't do it anymore. He's undeniable. It's tricky enough when you're on that cusp, right, to get, what do we call it, Farouked, where you're nominally the baby face, but the other guy is the heel. He's too entertaining. We're just going to like him, actually, okay? So it's going to be tricky enough for anyone who's programmed with Dominic Mysterio now, in a sense, to have two baby faces against him. That's pretty dumb, but Penta is going to stay Penta over for as long as he likes at this point. He's just got that personality. He's got that sort of aura, that presence about him. So, but he can, to a degree, wrestling booking doesn't matter that much. It doesn't. And Penta's just going to stay over. So nothing was lost here.
No.
And if Rusev doesn't get over, I think it's because the kind of baby face, he almost is he a baby face? He's a heel still, really.
I mean, the way, thank you, Muffler Man Dan, for reminding me of this, the way he yelled at a child in the front row.
He's still a heel. He's still a heel. He's just going up against Dom. It's fine.
Thank you to everyone joining us in the chat, and shout out to John Catter, who says, jumping in late, so it might have been discussed. We haven't got there yet, but we're about to get there now, John. What do you guys think of the tournament to be seen as last opponent? This came next, actually, on this show.
We forgot. I was meant to bring this up during the Raw preview, actually, because it is news. It doesn't start tonight, does it?
No, it's next week.
Next week. All right, so we can preview it more in depth when it happens. Maybe there'll be a bracket reveal. I feel like, and again, I don't think this will matter too much in the end. It's a vehicle for apparently Gunther to win. And he can tell some stories in amongst it. I like the idea. Probably would have been better if you'd maybe kind of quietly foreshadowed who the opponent would be and tell a big long-term story. Maybe Member Berry's got in the way. Like, ultimately, they had an idea for John Cena to redeem himself at the end of this. They obviously had to scrap that within months of this heel turn bombing, so that there is an element of a scramble to it, but it's a decent compromise.
Cena can sell it as well, like, oh, whoever's going to face me last, who should I face last? Whoever deserves it the most. 16-man tournament.
Yeah. So I don't hate the idea at all. I do feel like on one level they've set themselves up to fail, because John Cena narrates the package and says, who knows, maybe it could be someone who doesn't even work here.
Oh my God.
It's WWE. Whenever they've done, I'm going to get tribal. When AEW does a mystery during their prime, it's like usually something, what? That you can't comprehend. Like, I know you don't like the guy. By the way, all the best in his continued efforts right now. But like the Nick Gage thing was like, you're letting him on TV, he's a madman.
Yeah.
It had this aura about it. It had this unexpected, surely not. He's not going to be allowed to be Nick Gage on TV. It was awesome. And the exact same thing. I know the match stunk.
Yeah.
I know it did. But Juventud Guerrera.
Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, what? I really don't think they're going to go that outside of the box and cool with it. Like, I just cannot see it.
Fun game, though.
It's a fun game. Look, who's in WWE constantly but not technically signed, he doesn't work here realistically. And it's Joe Hendry.
Yeah. He's got a good relationship with John by all accounts.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't think that match is happening. But the idea that it might, it's pretty cool, I will say people are going to go into fantasy booking overdrive with it. Don't. It's not Levesque's way. He doesn't have that cool dog in him. He doesn't. Hey, dickface, if you see my dog, I don't have it in me. So I need to know where it is.
Maybe we could have some...
Was that Blade Trinity?
Blade Trinity. Yeah. Great
Hey,
trilogy.
dickface, you see my dog? 1, 2. You see my dog?
Trying to check the lobby. That was the fire back from Blade. Got him. Maybe we'll have a game with this later on this week, because I just been checking.
We'll have some fun with it.
Yeah,
And it'll probably involve the roster page.
Just been checking the calendar, and on Friday, I'll be in the office. I'll be working, obviously. Friday, you gonna be in the office working?
Scheduled to be, yeah. Got a bit of a sore neck, actually. I'm wondering if that's a start of something. But no, I'm scheduled to be.
There's one of us who's got a day off on Friday. I can't remember who that could be. Surely it can't be him, because he's already had today off. So that'll be a 3-day working week. Anyway,
What's he doing?
I don't know. I can't remember what the excuse is for Friday. We'll bully him
Does that
later
mean
on
have to
this
do a
week.
double pod on Thursday? Or is he still going to be off Thursday afternoon?
I don't know. Well, this is the
there's
2.5 day working week.
Week.
That's pretty good.
2.5 working day week.
Please hit with that tomorrow. It's going to pop me so big. Guess what? That's the name of the hats that they have for, like, like the acapella. So maybe we'll do some on Friday.
Yeah. Why don't we, after we record, we'll play the 2.5 Men theme tune,
write the lyrics,
and then practice our duet.
Well, considering you write an excellent song every single week for our AEW coverage, and I do it for WrestleCulture, this is like Lennon and McCartney basically going.
It is. No, what's like the ultimate? No, because we're separate. We're solo artists.
Yes, good point.
So what is the ultimate like band crossover? Because here's the thing:
Two and a Hamlet, right?
we might fail because historically, egos get in the way. It's considered just a mess about with their mates. Traditionally, the supergroup notorious for being terrible. It's like you could probably come up with like a good compilation of supergroup singles, but like in terms of studio albums, cultural impact, never good. And it's all right. I like one song by the Traveling Wilburys, the talent in which is absurd. But I mean, come on, it's not the Beatles, is it?
I think one of my favourite gigs I ever went to was Muck Busted, so that's an argument for the other side of things. It was. I'm not joking here. And I'm fairly certain it was the same day as a WrestleMania.
Boy bands, lame.
It was one of my favourite days, I think, in my life. I went to see McBusted at the LG Arena in Birmingham, and then went home and watched Mania would it have been? I feel like it was the same one that AJ Styles fought Shane McMahon at. Which one was that? 32?
32. No, 33.
33, yeah.
2017. Was anything else busted at the end? Maybe a nut of that
Probably.
evening?
Back then. Nowadays. But yeah, let us know. Like David Bowie and Mick Jagger.
It's just a cover.
I know. I'm trying to think of just two legends that could be in the studio together.
David who, by the way?
David Bowie.
All right. That's Halloween name.
Oh, yeah, that'd have been good. Someone compared me to David Bowie the other day, and I think it was me and Phil, and I was like, Ziggy Stardust is a bit of a Wilbourn sort of style character, isn't it? Oh, man from outer space.
Ginger as well, isn't he?
Yeah. So that works too.
You don't get too many comparisons to David
Good
Bowie.
point. Yeah, let's move on.
Is the thing about that.
But yeah, something to consider. And let's talk about the main event of the evening. World Heavyweight title. CM Punk versus Jey Uso.
This is funny.
Lillian Garcia does her intros. There's a skip 6 minutes for Jey Uso's entrance. Although I did rewind just to see the bit where he's coming out. And obviously everyone there, yee. And there's the guy, which did pop me. He's there with like kids and stuff. It's nice. And there's someone who's like forcing their way into frame with the sign that says, "Oh, brother, this guy stinks." Huge pop.
Huge pop. Huge pop. Look, I said in the Raw preview, just in case I forget to say this, the endless debate, the tiresome, looping debate all year has been how bad is too bad. How useless is too useless. How dog shit is too dog shit. The Rubicon was crossed at Saturday night's main event. For me, it was crossed already, but I don't really reflect WWE fans, and I know this. I'm just here to keep people sane. That's my job, okay? They're wrong, we're right. I'm still fighting for that title. I think the Rubicon was passed. Not for you, you liked it.
I was just happy for... I mean, I laughed, but should we get straight to the neck breaker?
Yeah.
I mean, there was an early attempt at GTS. Uso gets out of it. Punk slows down the pace, grabs him for a neck breaker.
Neck breaker, what's that? That's what Jey Uso thought he was taking, because he doesn't know what a fucking neck breaker is either by the looks of things.
So is it meant to be a reversal or what? Because he just sort of
No,
over-rotated.
because the spot was meant to be the neck breaker, hence why CM Punk
kicked him in the head.
booted him in the head. He booted him. So I think they were meant to just do that, but Jey Uso just doesn't know what he's doing. Like, seriously, is he high?
I don't know.
What's going on? It's like, he was a perfectly serviceable, botchless tag team wrestler for years and years and years and years and years, right? And I'm certain, if I know anything about the Fed that I've blocked out, he probably had singles matches on TV to, depending on whether he was going to win at the pay-per-view, he would win the singles match if he was going to lose the singles match on TV before he was going to win. That probably happened about 100 times, right?
Yeah.
What's happened to this guy? It's like, maybe it's the bright lights. He's had that Florian Wirtz. I'm sorry, Matt Reigns. Maybe he's had the Anthony Elanga moment, right? Where you make a big move and you just have a collapse. You just have a collapse and you just get worse than you seemingly ever were. You just forget how to do your job. Maybe that's what's happened to him. Maybe he's lazy. Maybe he's high. I don't know, but he stinks.
So yeah, after they do...
See his collar and elbow tie up as well. Stomp, clap, stomp, clap, stomp, stomp, clap, stomp, clap. He went to clap. Punk's like doing two. He's got fucking 4 elbows and 4 collars. He's doing it himself.
So Punk, following this, after they redo the neck breaker spot, and
Booted him. It was brilliant.
yeah, that was good.
Oh my God, he flopped to the ground like he was 80 years old, Jey Uso here. Like, it's one thing to, like, go the wrong way, right? He falls to his knees as if, like, I mean, it's pretty dark, but, like, you know, when it's like, I was Geraldine. Oh, he's had a fall. He's had a fall. He's had a fall at home. That's what it looks like in my head. You know?
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
Could he have done it any more slowly?
I also like the bit where, following this, a bit of a back and forth. There was a Samoan drop in there, some chops, and
Here's the thing, that spot's been isolated. 80% of this was merely mediocre.
Punk hits a GTS. Jey Uso spills out of the ring. Always love that spot when someone hits a finish and then like scrabbling after.
He probably did it as a shoot. It's probably match was meant to be 5 minutes shorter. He's meant to get done with a GTS there and then, but he's just fallen out the ring because he just isn't know what he's doing.
Well, Punk was like, "Get some water. Let's wake him up."
I wonder how improvised that was. Because my God, he did need to wake up.
So Uso fights back. It's a hip attack on Punk. Goes for a spear, but Punk catches him with a GTS.
I'm fairly certain it was improvised because the story that they set out... I'm sorry, I've stepped on your dick, man. I'm sorry. But the story that they told on Raw was one of us has to be the asshole here. And CM Punk literally said to Jey Uso's face, "Are you prepared to do the dirty work to win this match?" The story wasn't, "Jey Uso, you hopeless, useless bastard. You're botching left, right, and center, and you look like you're 80 years old in there. Wake up. We've got a serious title match to do here."
So
that wasn't the story.
No.
So I think he's improvised it.
Punk catches him with a GTS attempt. Uso gets out of it, hits a spear and an Uso splash, but Punk kicks out at 2. Uso goes back up top. But Punk catches him up there and hits a superplex. They're both down. They trade blows in the center of the ring. Crowd are getting into it, to be fair. Uso gets out of a GTS attempt and super kicks Punk, but he falls out of the ring. Uso charges around the ring, hits a spear, and Punk goes through the barricades. Good sell in the eyes from Punk here.
Please stop doing that for 6 months.
Yeah.
It is a joke. Even if this match was rocking, by the way, it wasn't. It was sucking. Even if it was rocking, I see that spot, I'd just get in a mood with it. So how dare you? How dare you do this spot every single time and have the audacity to treat it as like this chaotic thing?
And I'd give it only to Bron Breakker. Yeah. But I agree that we don't need to see it for the rest of this year at least.
It's absolutely appalling. Like, every time I see that spot, I just think, you dicks, how low you must think of me. What am I meant to do at that spot? Go, Christ. Now, what's interesting about this is that the barricade is meant to, be the sort of, symbol of separation from the ringside environment where professional business gets done. And if that collapses, it's almost like it's chaos.
So they go through the barricade. Uso drags Punk back into the ring. Goes for another Uso splash, but Punk gets the knees up and he lifts up Jey and hits the GTS, but Jey Uso this time kicks out at 2.9. Punk sets up for a pile driver, but Jey Uso counters and hits the GTS on Punk. Punk gets up and hits...
It looked like crap.
Well, speaking of which, Punk gets up and hits Jey Uso with a spear.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Honestly, what's the worst spear you've ever seen?
That one I was talking about to you recently, the Bubba Ray Dudley one on Wall Street.
Yes.
That was real bad.
That was real bad. Did one happen in that TNA match?
I don't know, actually.
I don't know. This is the worst spear I've ever seen in my life. In terms of both wrestlers, because I think Bubba hit it too early or whatever.
Yeah.
In terms of an intentional, they were more or less in the right, position to do it. I don't like Yota Tsuji's. I feel like it's a lift up and slam. It's not a spear. You're meant to, break people's hip.
You don't like Lashley's roll through, do you?
I don't like Lashley's roll through. I don't think it looks impactful. You're meant to look like you are. It's meant to look reckless, like Goldberg, Braun style.
Yeah, I think they should.
What's CM Punk thinking?
I think we should just say this move. One person is allowed to have it. Maybe we should go through all the moves.
There's certain moves that different wrestlers can do and should do or whatever. What's CM Punk is a pretty rank hypocrite at times. He said on the eve of the all-out match with Darby, retire, everyone, stop doing a suicide dive.
Yeah.
Look at his. You're never going to do it. 1 year later, he does it and injures his triceps at All Out 2022. There are certain moves, as you say, you make a good point, synonymous with being done brilliantly by iconic, distinctive wrestlers. The Spear's one of them. Edge's sucks. Christian sucks. Yeah. They don't have the frame for it. Thought Christian always timed his well. He's a great craftsman. Like, first of all, CM Punk, you're not Goldberg. You weren't even that good an athlete. You weren't even that big a guy in your prime. It's the last move you should be doing. And what's the idea with, like, so it's fair enough if the execution isn't there because it's CM Punk. Often it rarely is, to be fair. What's the story behind him doing the spear?
Well, actually, I thought it was quite a clever mind game to hit a deliberately bad spear against Jey Uso to bring all those thoughts rushing back into it.
Am I not good enough? Am I not good enough? I know you're being facetious. I'll take it at this point. Here's the thing.
Mr. Jean says, CM Punk's spear was worse than that fan who jumped the barricade for Rollins.
Yeah, the little leg man.
Yeah.
I tell you what,
And
like...
Kyle Foot says, Punk's spear was straight off of the top shelf of pure ass.
Pure ass.
I love something from the top shelf of pure ass, please.
It was ass. The idea of finisher theft now, it's becoming just a thing to do for the sake of doing it. I understood it when Rock and Austin really popularized it. Of like, we are neck and neck, 1 and A. There's no, I almost respect you even though it makes me sick. When I'm desperate, my lungs are burning, I'm going to do your move. Don't like myself for doing it, but that's the story that they're telling there, that 1 and A. It just gets done so often without any thought behind it.
Should have said, I think they should have a rule where it's like you get 1 a year, let's say, across all companies, and all the wrestlers come together.
Big whiteboard, man.
They divvy it up.
You need rules.
And the only one that I'll allow, for the most part, is, what was it called? Called the golden trigger. My brain's gone here completely here. What's the one with the books?
The BTE trigger and the gold.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Don't you?
It was the golden trigger, then it became the BTE trigger, right? There was a reason behind that.
That was amazing.
There was a reason behind that. Not only was there minimal reason, it just felt like, that's what we do in WWE big matches. There's like a list of tropes. Check. Barricade spot, steal each other's finishes, ref bump, 2 finisher attempts before the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th is the one that ends the match. It's just so shallow. So not only in terms of the idea behind it, why are we doing this? It's just a thing that they do now. In terms of CM Punk not learned, stop doing other people's moves. At this point, you can barely do your own well. It's a good job that you can stitch them together in a good way. And I've actually got a bit of praise for this otherwise Turcarino adjacent match. Like, after the buckshot, just do your own stuff. You can barely do your own fill at this point. Your own stuff.
John Carr in the chat says WWE need to invest in better barriers. That would be funny if they set up for a spot like that.
Just like, bounce back off it. Invest in better agents.
I did like the spot, though, after the dreadful spear, where Punk gets to his feet, hits a GTS on Uso, and they do the spot that we've seen before. It's GTS, stumble into the ropes, fall back onto the shoulders of CM Punk.
This is the one bit I like.
This was awesome, yeah. And you're like, okay, here we go. Second GTS. Thank you very much, everyone. Let's go home. Or shenanigans or whatever, because I'm always looking out for it at this point in the match. But he collapses onto Punk's shoulders. Punk's like, here we go. But Jey Uso's playing possum, snatches him up with a sleeper that won him the world title.
I thought this was... CM Punk has still got a bit of that brain.
Yeah, awesome, that spot. And then Punk counters that with an Anaconda Vice. Jey Uso manages to get the ropes. This panic, this rush to the finish happens. Punk drags him back to the center of the ring. Uso fights back with some super kicks, goes for a spear, but Punk catches him as he goes for it and hits a pair of GTSs and wins the world title. He regains the World Heavyweight Championship and celebrates as Jey Uso's just slumped on the floor to close out this show.
I wonder if he was just going to beat Seth, and then that's when the Vision stuff was going to go the way that it did, or if we were getting 2 more years of that. Ultimately, it was a pivot. You'd think after all of the tribulations the CM Punk character has faced in this return run, that it would be a better moment than this. It just felt like, get the belt on Punk. It's about time, and he's the best one. Felt like a safe choice. It probably wasn't right. If you're CM Punk and you're back at Survivor Series 2023, you probably realize, I don't want that title. I want the chase. That's where the money is. And da-da-da-da-da. He's probably dreaming of the ultimate scenarios where he can win that belt. It ain't this. It ain't this. And it didn't feel like this. But needs must. And they've got the title on someone who can actually carry it and be interesting and who warrants it. I don't want to write off Cody Punk at Mania just yet. but the window's closing.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I'm really intrigued to see how they handle it tonight on Raw.
Yeah, because that feels like the best match WWE has. It really does. And even I come alive big time for whenever they do their annual verbal face-to-face. So, in a way, that's a shame. That there's always a million of work. You can do what you want to get the title off one of them, you know? But match was awful for the main. There were certain ideas in it that were decent, but then otherwise, when the execution wasn't laughable at this level, like a joke, I would laughed at it. It was still sort of WWE shallow tropes, barricade, finisher theft. Pacing was quite good. I thought that still had the crowd. There was some actual ideas. Some of the bits were stitched together. We referenced the Jey Uso. That sleeper spot. That was well done. There were flickers of the old CM Punk putting matches together brilliance there, but my God, like, there was a social media inquest of Jey Uso's value or lack thereof on Twitter, and for me on this, it was thoroughly warranted, and it wasn't just this match neither.
Paul Abbott in the chat says, I reckon he'll drop it tonight.
Bloody hell. To whom?
Bron Breaker just says, well, after last week, I get the title shot. Tonight, right now. Maybe.
It would be funny.
Preview.
It would be funny.
Quite like that, yeah. So he'd held it for, one day if you're giving it barely that, 5 minutes, but to then hold it for, 2 days?
Put it this way, I don't think Paul Levesque is that interesting, but I've held my hands up once today. Maybe I'll do it twice in as many days.
Before we get to a great question from Steve O'Nix with regards to a trade, perhaps, between AEW and WWE. Maybe more fantasy than reality, but I like the sound of it.
Almost certainly, but we'll still answer it, and I like the sound of it.
I want to give a shout-out to Mark Lee Willis in the chat. Thank you for your donation, Mark, not just in the chat, but on my Movember page, which, as you may have noticed, I'm doing it again this year. Last year I wasn't allowed, or I excused myself for my son's baptism
You weren't
photos. Allowed. Yeah. But Mark Lee Willis in the chat
says,
let's
not take the piss here.
Let's get #GingerTash trending. Yes, I'm back growing a moustache for Movember. The fight against prostate cancer
You know what? What time is it? What date is it?
The 3rd. I will say this is I've given myself a bit of a head start. Well, I meant to shave it off on the 31st, but as you saw me, I was no good for anything.
No.
So I just collapsed when I went home and then realised I will just have to give it a few days head start, basically. Yes.
Sorry, you were doing a very good plug there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, the fight against prostate cancer is a cause very, very close to my heart, and I'm so grateful for everyone who's donated. I ran the Great North Run for prostate cancer a few years ago, and I saw on my Movember page, it's been like £1,500 we've managed to raise over the few years that I've been doing this ridiculous thing. So any donations are much appreciated. You can find the link on my Twitter, @Adam Wilbourn. Looking to raise another £500 this year, and I will deliver, as I did a couple of years ago. Last time it was it Chaz Finster, we said?
Yeah.
Chucky's dad. This year, I have to do the biggest one.
John Moxley's dad.
Nigel Thornberry will be what I come to work as on the final.
Are you worried that one year you're going to run out of ginger twats that you look like?
Yeah. But then...
Any suggestions, Nicholas?
I'd be more worried you got... Actually, my mic on.
Yeah, you're on.
I'd be more worried you got picked up and locked up before he got his next one. Some of these mustachioed gentlemen he turns up as. I'm not so sure. Who else? Ned Flanders he's got.
Ned Flanders, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can just switch to not ginger people, I suppose.
You could just start colouring your hair, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I tell you what, funny, like with a really jet black mustache, I'd like to see that.
Yeah. Shout out to
jet black hair as well.
Shout out to Mimi who says, is that Movember Wilbourn or Domhnall Gleeson in the chat? So thank you.
I mean, next time if you dye it, you could just put a wig on and be Dominic, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
I had to, some people call me Morris who writes Ginger Tash Jones over there. Still good stuff. But yeah, any donations much appreciated. I'll be banging on about it throughout this month, and you'll have to see it on many of these videos as it gets progressively worse and worse, or better and better. Some people might say. You always campaign for me to keep it.
No, I think you look better with a week's worth of stubble.
I think he suits the tash.
I think it suits a Tash, but I
like-
do think it looks better with like all over Tash and beard stubble.
When I had a shave this morning, I did, because obviously it's been 2
I
years.
almost forget.
No, I remember this. I always knew. I remember to do it this morning, but I did look in the mirror.
Like, you almost forget that you need to keep the Tash
Oh,
on.
yeah, there's 100%.
Yeah,
muscle
I've
memory.
done it once. If I can dig out the photos, I will. But yeah, I was always petrified of just accidentally shaving it off.
Trying to find, because I wanted to find the Chaz Finster photo. In searching for that, when I typed it in, I'll show you. Look, you can see on my searches. When I typed in at Adam Wilbourn Movember here, look, what comes up is you.
It's already there.
From 2019. A 2012 effort that was.
2012 effort, yeah.
Some good stuff. But I did. Thanks, Cactus Jockstrap in the chat. Wilbourn looks less of a dork with facial hair.
No, I agree. I think it looks better with the stubble.
I did shave it this morning. And it was like, hello, you.
He started jacking it in.
Right, let's get to this really good question, I promise. But thank you again, Mark Lee Willis, and thank you for your donation. Steve Onyx says, hi, handsome gents.
Stevie Nicks.
Steve Onyx.
That's still good.
Hi, handsome gents.
Like Stevie Nicks, though. You see
WWE.
that footage of the staring?
No.
Okay.
Someone, I think Matt Raines has told me to look up a picture of Mother Wayne, which I will do whilst you answer this question. I'm just doing what's been asked in the chat.
Okay.
Hi, handsome gents. WWE request Bryan Danielson, assuming healthy, versus Cena one last time. What would be a fair return for AEW letting Danielson do the match for WWE? Is it Lynch versus...
Money.
Bronson Reed versus Powerhouse Hobbs? What are you going with? It doesn't have to be limited to them, obviously.
Bronson Reed for Bryan Danielson. Are you bloody... You having what Jesus having? Are you high? Bronson Reed for Danielson. I'll kick your ass.
Who was it that Hamflet did as a trade?
Joking.
Who was it Hamflet did as a
He's
trade?
such an arsehole. He's such an arsehole. So fucking knobhead that he is, man. So he did this video like wrestlers who should jump between AEW and WWE with the idea being, let's make it a little bit fair. Like who's good but outlived their usefulness. It happens in every company.
I think my one was Bailey for the Outrunners, but that was purely selfish reasons.
Yeah, I think I went maybe at the time like Adam Cole, never been an amazing fit in AEW.
Yeah.
WWE, and I'll take Nathan Frazier just to see what he would look like in a promotion that would let him go all out. Hamflet was like, yeah, probably take, I think it was Adam Cole or like another big star. AEW can have, I think it was like, I don't know, like one of OTM from NXT. Someone like that
I
caliber.
think I can find it. If you,
Anyway.
You give your thoughts, because in the chat, people, Mr. Gene says AJ Styles for Danielson.
I feel like you're not getting the whole... I feel like you're misunderstanding how good Bryan Danielson is, people. There's no one, arguably, who might have ever been at that level. Tell you what, we'll have Cody.
Cody?
Just for the star power, just for the event, just for how seismic it would feel. And then how much of a heel Cody Rhodes would come off. I think, here's the thing, right? If you leave, this is the rule of all wrestling, right? Which is why you can't get tribal. You can have a preference. And you know what? You can do whatever you want. I hate when people try and tell you what to do. Right? Do what you want, right? Here's why you shouldn't, unless you want to appear like an arsehole, right? You probably shouldn't be tribal because Cody Rhodes, AEW fans, the worst ones, are like, God, he was useless. God, he should have turned babyface. God, he was crap towards the end. I'm glad that WWE got red hot now attendances and atmospheres down as a result. Okay. Cody Rhodes leaves WWE voluntarily and comes back to AEW. Shrines are being erected for this dude. Cosplays at his return. Cody Rhodes is doing a... Wait there. First dance style thing. He's going to be as a demigod, right? If he comes back while under WWE contract... and he can't say, yeah, I was getting bored, I need to come back home to AEW and whatever. He's getting booed out the building. So if it's who's the ultimate, if it's Hangman Page versus WWE Cody Rhodes, that is an acceptable substitute for Senior Danielson for me. Thank you very much. And thank you. Who was mine? Go through some of them.
I can go through, yeah.
Go through some of them so you get the gist of the idea so it looks fair.
So this was back in November of 2024, Sid, just one of our Talking Heads things.
So, what was it just again?
It was called Roster Trades WWE and AEW Must Make in 2025 Fanciful.
It's a bit of fantasy.
Have a bit of fun with it. Come on, we want to make some thumbnails out of this. So as I mentioned, mine was Bayley for the Outrunners. That was more fun, but I love the Outrunners, and I thought Bayley had kind of run her course before she obviously became the super worker, being two persons in one that she is nowadays, obviously. Michael Sidgwick, Adam Cole, you were correct on, and you were dancing around the right answer. Adam Cole for Dragon Lee.
Yeah, because Dragon Lee, people are starting to come to grips with how good he is, but it's taking too long.
Mufflerman Dan's written, Roman has to job to AR Fox. TK, not over my dead body!
Like the ultimate political get ever, and he still wouldn't let himself do it.
So you had Adam Cole for Dragon Lee. We had Jamie Hayter for Bayley from Andrew Pollard. Street Profits and Young Bucks were being mentioned in around the same sentence. Miller went for AJ Styles and Miro to swap places. Michael Hamflet.
It's not real Hamflet, you mark.
I
don't want to let any of them go.
I think I could give you 10 guesses and you wouldn't guess this. Because it's so
Was that Adam Cole?
Adam Cole, you were correct, yeah. Adam Cole, quite right. Understandable. You and him both.
Is it NXT?
It was. They're not with the company anymore. Because it was Adam Cole. Trade-off of Michael Sidgwick.
Thing is, this is like the idea of a trade-off. You've probably got to accept this as well. Like, that's the rules that you fail to play, Hamflet. The idea being like, it's a kind of a big loss, Adam Cole. Yeah, injury record's not the best, and you get the sense that other people have lapped him like Swerve and Ospreay, but my God, I still want someone good in return. That's the rules of a trade. Yeah. That's the rules of the game, Hamflet.
Trade-off. I get Adam Cole as WWE. You get...
So pretend he's there, because this is going to wind me up in it.
I'm going to lean back. You get Ridge Holland. Pass off his head.
He's not playing fair.
Pontus Olsen remembered. Good work in the chat.
I will take for AEW, I'll take Roman Reigns. Okay, and you can have Peter Avalon. See how easy that is? He was like, I don't want to let any of them go. It's not up to you.
Kyle
You
Foot.
wake up in Triple H's body or something. No, you didn't. It's not up to you.
Kyle Foot said...
I love that man so much, man. He's pissed me off twice. There might be a few more times. But a salvage job for the ages in the Adam Cole for Ridge Holland trade.
Hey, they're looking back at this. Bold wrestling predictions for 2025. AJ Lee returns to WWE. Got that one right.
Who was that?
Hamflet. You said Tony Khan. I think you were in a bad mood at the time. Tony Khan creates a stand-up for AEW campaign, which he kind of has this year. The feeling has come back.
He did. The Death Riders and Hangman Page, and isn't it great? And Darby Allin. It's since 2024. I was actually behind on that. It's been a glorified stand-up for AEW campaign.
There's some good stuff in here. WWE nightmares that could come true in 2025. Michael Sidgwick. John Cena's retirement run bombs.
I think he's rubbish, man. I did think it was going to bomb because of his absolutely action figure style body movements and just terrible. Remember that cartoonish character he was playing as a babyface towards the end? He's already a goofy tit. He was like a caricature of a goofy tit. In fact, he's working hard in there. I can't deny that.
Hi to
But it has bombed, and I was correct.
Hi to Gatman Stav in the chat, who says, tune in the mud and Punk with the World Championship. # pray for Sidge.
It's not been a good day if you've got PDS. It has not been a good weekend for me. To be fair, though, first of all, we're massive. And second of all, Punk's won the Seth belt. Big whoop. What's he won? The one that counts at WrestleMania? He's won the Seth belt. Right. And you could probably compare the League Cup to the Seth belt, but
we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that for the purposes of my agenda.
But if you want to know our thoughts on where they go from here, check out the Raw preview right now. But for now, this has been our Saturday night's main event review. Thanks to everyone who's joined us, and thank you for all your donations and comments and what have you. If you want to follow us on X, you can do so. You can follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
Follow our brilliant producer Adam Nicholas at.
It's Adam Nicholas.
Just saw that microphone slide into view there. You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all
Rich
at
Holland.
WhatCulture WWE. I just need to go back and read some of these tomorrow. I like this game. It's fun. Subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts, including the Raw preview available right now. We'll all be back tomorrow. It's one of the 2.5 days that Hamlet is working this week. Now this has been the Saturday night's main event review. My thanks to Michael Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you soon.